We'll go ahead and call our February 6, 2019 commission meeting to order. We'll have our invocation given by Commissioner Hadfield. Our Sheriff, Kevin Potter, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll go from there.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for this day and for the opportunity which we have to be able to gather together and to be able to discuss the matters of the county. Father, we're grateful for this land and for the freedoms that we enjoy. We're grateful for our communities and the good, hardworking people that help build these communities and teach our children and help them to be good adults. And Father, we're grateful for the people who serve, not only in our sheriff's department and fire, but all those who serve our country and the military. Father, please guard and protect them and watch over them. We're grateful for their efforts, and please help us this day. We might be able to have thy Spirit with us, that we can decipher and make the decisions on the things that will be best for the county and for the citizens of Box Elder County and for our future. Again, we are grateful for the opportunity to live in this land at this time. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Any past items or any correspondence, anything that you gentlemen have to share?
How about minutes?
Minutes, you want?
We can do that.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from January 14th and January 16th.
And you'll second it because I wasn't here.
Okay. I can second that. I have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield, a second by myself. All in favor of approval of the minutes?
Aye.
Very good. Anything you gentlemen have? Past items or correspondence, anything happening?
Well, I don't know if you heard the State of the State address with Governor Herbert, but they had a big shout out for the sesquicentennial, the driving of the Golden Spike and the Transcontinental Railroad. It was pretty amazing that he was able to do that. It's going to be a huge event for not only Box Elder County, but for the state. There's statewide things going on right now. It's the first time in 150 years all three spikes have been back in Utah. They're at the Natural History Museum.
Museum of Fine Arts.
Museum of Fine Arts right now. And then they will actually be up at the Capitol, I think, from the 1st of May till the end of June in the Gold Room at the Capitol. So you'll be able to go see that. Also, the original partridge that President Lincoln signed for the Transcontinental Railroad Act will actually be here also. So it's going to be pretty cool. Anything else I missed about that?
More to come.
Yeah, more to come. Spike150.org is a good place to go if you want to hear about some of the events and things that are happening. And then you can call our tourism director, Joan Hammer, if you have any questions about things that are going on also. Okay.
Anything?
I don't have anything. Thanks.
Okay. All right, very good. Let's see. Let's go ahead and begin. 505, Williams-Knorr rezone. Mr. Lyons.
All right, so my first item is ordinance number 494. This is a rezone request. The rezone is for approximately 0.94 acres. It's located at 9805 and 9815 west, 11600 north, in the Bothwell area. The current zone is RR5, rural residential 5 acre, and it's requested that it be changed to R18, which is a residential 8,000 square foot zone. This has been reviewed by staff. It's gone before the Planning Commission. Public hearing was held, and a recommendation of approval has been forwarded to the County Commission.
Gentlemen, have any questions?
No, I just think that thanks for taking care of that. We're going to continue to have those type of problems in that area when people are passing away and they don't realize that their lots weren't taken out of the thing in 1976. So it's something that we're going to probably have to streamline here in the next couple of years when people are trying to get rid of their and take their estates and things like that to the next level. So
Won't be the last one.
no, I'd make a motion that we approve the NOR rezone RR5 to R1-8, ordinance 494.
Second?
Have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item is ordinance 495. This is an ordinance for an agricultural subdivision. This is located at approximately 8185 West, 10400 North. And basically what this does is splits a single-family dwelling off of a larger agricultural parcel. So the parcel that would stay with the single-family dwelling is 1 acre, and the agricultural parcel would be 38.54 acres. This as well has been before the Planning Commission, has received a recommendation of approval, and is now before you.
Okay. Any questions?
I don't have any.
I don't have any.
Okay.
I'd make a motion we approve ordinance 495, the East Agricultural Subdivision.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Ordinance 496, this is another rezone request. The request here is to rezone approximately 277.65 acres. And this is located at about 11800 West, 12400 North. It's on the hillside west of Bothwell. The request is to rezone it from the RR5, Rural Residential 5-acre zone, to the MGEX zone. That's the mining, quarry, sand, and gravel excavation zone. This one as well went before the Planning Commission in both December and January. Public hearing was held at that level, and it comes to you now with a recommendation of approval.
On that, were there any stipulations would be at the CUP? There was some things at the Planning Commission, I know from being there, had some questions about or some concerns. Would those be addressed when they come for a conditional use permit?
Precisely. So,
Okay.
I mean, I guess if you want a little additional history, the original request was that the parcel itself is 625 acres, and the original request was to rezone the entire parcel. The Planning Commission wasn't comfortable with that, and following the public hearing and some of those items being brought up, some of those were water and other things. The Planning Commission scheduled a site visit and visited the location, and kind of came away with the thought that it should be, the scope of the project should be maybe narrowed down to some extent. With that being said, the applicant did narrow it down from the 625 to 277.65 in size. As far as the other items, those would be addressed at the conditional use permit portion of it. If mitigation is needed, conditions would be placed on the project at that point. You can't really place conditions on a zone. So,
Okay. You said 277.65?
correct.
Okay. On here it shows 278.32. Is that,
I think you
Just
had the draft
the
before we have the
draft, okay.
final legal description.
all right, very good. Okay. No, I just wanted that clarified from the Planning Commission, so thank you. Okay. Anything else, gentlemen?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'd make a motion that we approve the revised ordinance 489, right? Is that where we're at?
496.
Oh, 496. Sorry, I'm ahead of myself. The rezone from RR5 to MGEX.
Second?
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and now we're getting to revised ordinance 489. This ordinance came before you in, I believe it was your December meeting, December 5th, 2018, and was recommended approval. When it went to the recorder's office, there were a few errors with the ordinance that needed to be adjusted. One of those was regarding the ownership, and the second one just needed to further clarify the what was happening with the legal descriptions. I guess to jump back a little bit further, this was originally a multi-lot subdivision. I believe there were 6 or 7 lots, and it was approved about a year ago. Anyway, the landowner that got it originally approved decided to undo the approval, and the way to do that is to vacate that subdivision. So that's the goal of this ordinance, is to vacate that subdivision. The revision is just to clarify the ownership and how the legal description reverts the process.
Okay.
And everything was good. Did this go back through the planning commission?
No,
Okay, I didn't think so.
didn't need to.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we approve the revised ordinance 489 Don Miller subdivision vacate.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield, a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Looks like we got one more, but we've got to wait a few minutes to open that up. So
Do you want me to get out of the way, or do you want me to give some background, or what's the?
why don't we have?
Justin Doling. Pilt payment.
Yeah. Why don't we have you stay close and we'll keep moving, and yeah, if you want to come up, Mr. Bowen, we'll cover
Dolan.
that first.
Is it Doling?
Don't. Yeah.
Dolan.
Sorry.
Justin. We just wanted to make sure you gave us that money quicker.
Well, good evening, Commissioners. My name is Justin Doling, and I'm with the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources. And I'm here to present our payment in lieu of taxes for the 2018 tax year. Division of Wildlife owns and manages roughly 22,000 acres here in the county. They consist of Locomotive Springs, Salt Creek, Public Shooting Grounds, Coldwater, and Brigham Face. And we'd like to present you with a check for $11,049.89.
You want to take it?
I'd be happy to.
I've also got a letter here from our director, and then if you could sign this receipt, that would be perfect.
We appreciate you being partners here
Oh
in the
yeah,
county.
thank you.
We do some great things, great tourism. It's amazing what we can do to help each other. It's awesome.
Yeah, I agree as well. It's been a real good partnership. And is there anything that concerns you about what's going on with wildlife here in the county?
Just not enough.
It's not enough.
There is
Yeah, I
a-
would second that.
There is a bill going through right now with Casey Snyder. You're aware of that?
Which one is that?
It's down on the west side of Willard. Going to expand that.
Oh, yes, the Willard Spur Wildlife
Yeah.
Management Area?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, has it made it to the floor yet, or?
What's that?
Has-
Yeah,
has
they
it come
went
out?
yesterday.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, good.
So,
Yeah, I haven't read it yet.
yeah, I think it's going to be a good addition to everything else that's happening down there in the waterfowl area. So,
Yeah, yeah.
No, we appreciate what you do. It's a great place to live, and it's because of good management. So thank you for being here.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
thanks.
Have a good evening.
Thanks, Justin. Okay. If you want to come back up here, Mr. Lyons, I think we're really close. If you want to give a little background, and as soon as it hits 5:15, I might cut in for a second.
Okay. So in early November, the county commission received a request to sell a narrow strip of land. It's located actually in Tremonton, but it's appears to be the remains from a subdivision process.
We'll officially open the public hearing, and we'll let Mr. Lyons give the background, and then we'll go ahead and take comments.
Anyway, so it's adjacent to the individual who came in and requested it, it's adjacent to his field, and it was defaulted to the county following tax sale the tax sale process. So at this point, essentially, the county owns this strip of land, which there's not a lot of use for it. We've taken it through the surplus disposal policy, and the Planning Commission has recommended that it be disposed of, and essentially that leads us to this point. With that being said, the amount that it was written off for was $174.60. The disposal policy requires a public hearing prior to the sale of the property. And I guess the one other item I should add here, I guess two items. Those requesting it, the adjacent property owner is Burtonwood Investments LLC and Buchanan Properties LLC. And I have received written input from Tremont City regarding this, and they basically stated that they would prefer that it goes to these adjacent property owners, or to the only other landowner they could see it going to, or that they were comfortable with it going to, as it falls within Tremont City, is to Tremont City. And the reason they state that is they have an adjacent roadway 300 North, and if it were to be owned by anyone but this Burtonwood Investments LLC and Buchanan Properties LLC, it could become an access issue in the future. You know, someone owning that strip could impede future roadways in that particular area. So that was their bit of input.
Sure.
So.
Very good. Thank you. We have opened the public hearing. If anybody would like to speak to this, and specifically to the sale of this surplus property, please come forward, state your name, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Anyone? Okay.
I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Lyons, everything prepared for the sale, or would we just authorize that to move forward at this point?
Yeah, so I think you'd just make a motion to authorize the sale. The county policy basically states that a deed would be prepared in order to transfer the property, and that it would then be recorded in the recorder's office. I guess the only question I would have at that point, I spoke with a title company today to see what the cost would be to prepare that deed. He stated $40. There's no recorder's fee, as it's the county recording the document. But I guess the only question I would have is, does the county pay that $40, or would you like the recipients to pay that, or split it?
I think we've got somebody who wants to discuss that.
Well, I'm Jerry Buchanan of Buchanan Properties, and I have a son-in-law, Brent Kirkland, who's offered to draw up the paperwork. He's out of him, which would save him $40.
There you have it.
And
Everybody wins. Okay.
we'd be very happy to have this pulled together so we don't have just that little strip of ground there.
Oh, that's great.
We're in favor of this, and
Okay.
whatever we can do, we'd love to do it.
Okay.
Look, for the line, we would like to see that deed, either by email or by mail before you record it, just to see it, just to see, make sure it's.
Yep,
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we give you just due to get rid of the surplus property and have Brent Kirkland draw up the papers to take care of the $40 fee.
The only thing I would add, just make sure to put your basis for doing that on there. Surplus policy requires highest and best, or all the scenarios.
Right.
Okay.
So what's just on the record your basis for?
And the basis that we're putting this together and passing it is that I think it goes best to go back into the landowners that have both vested interest, whatever it
Yeah,
has to be.
so- So-
had it
so-
at first.
So what I was told by the, I mean, essentially the highest and best can only be essentially the amount that the county wrote it off for, that 174.60.
Right.
So essentially anything above and beyond that per state code, the county would have to refund that to the prior property owner. So essentially this is, yeah, based on that, this is the highest and best
Okay.
Okay, I'll
possible
second that.
based on state code.
Okay. Very good. We have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thanks, Scott.
thanks.
Scott.
Okay. Laura, sorry to skip you. Back there waiting patiently.
I'm Laura Selman, and I'm representing the crossing Box Elder's Golden Treasure. And you've heard from me before, and probably will again, because we are in the midst of this. We've got thrown in this sesquicentennial because as we started out, we were just going to do this for the National Stagecoach and Freight Wagon Association that's coming in the same week, and they picked a wonderful week to do their convention. Because they're not only coming in and staying with us for 4 or 5 days, so they're putting that money into our hotels, and we're charging them lots of money for food and good things, you know, so that's helping us out too. But the production now has gone to the point where we're filling up, and people are calling us, and we're happy for that. But we'd like you guys to help us promote it every chance you get, and I have brought you some of the flyers. And Stan, I believe you said you would take it to the mayors.
Yep, we'll take it to the Mayor's Association.
And be sure that each one of them knows so that it can go into their towns. We are also going to come up with a brochure that will be put around Box Elder County so people can pick it up and take care of that. And I have got them agreeing with me that if we fill up the 2 nights, we'll do a second performance, the 2 nights, an hour later. So
That's awesome.
they've agreed to that, so we're just not afraid of having a crowd.
I'll
And
bet
we
you'll get
just-
them filled up.
I
And
think
it
you
is a
will.
marvelous production, and it does tell our story.
And this is
that's
down
what
at
we
Hampton
want.
Ford Theater.
This is down to Hampton
Old
Ford
barn,
Theater.
yep.
The old
and
barn.
The old barn. And we would just request that there's no charge. It's a great time to bring the young people of our county and give them a chance to know something about our history. We have a lot of history. We have a rich heritage here. And I think we need to be positive and look for our rich heritage and not dwell on these things that don't mean a thing.
I'll second that
So-
motion.
Thank you. Yeah, and
Okay.
Marvin and Laura Lee do a phenomenal job, so this will be a good production.
Marvin and Laura Lee have
So-
done a tremendous job, and we so appreciate the grant that's been given to us. We've got it going into the Farm Bureau newsletter. We've got it going into their magazines, and they actually have given us a couple of $100, so we're able to put some posters out now. So we feel like I say, what started out just simply, we were trying to find something for a group to do that was coming into the county, has developed into something that we're very proud of.
That's awesome.
And I thank you guys for
No,
what you
thank
do.
you.
I really do.
I'll make sure that we get that on the
appreciate
Spike 150 website also, so throughout the state,
I
we'll go throughout
appreciate
the
that.
nation.
And then we'll talk with Joan Hammer and make sure that gets spread around in her
And Joan, I think, is
publications.
getting tired of hearing from me.
Oh,
But
no.
She and I have been talking, and in fact, I just talked to her a little while ago.
Good.
So I appreciate your
Good.
help and appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
And I've got you down for the fair.
Appreciate
Okay.
your work. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We'll be there.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see, 524, Larry Douglas.
Could you all get a copy of the grant?
Yep, right here.
Okay, great. So this year's grant, I'm a volunteer for the county for the Certified Local Government Program, and it helps property owners, eventually helps them with tax credits, state tax credit and federal tax credits. And so our grant this year has 3 aspects. There's a reconnaissance survey of Garland, the north part that's historic. there's a reconnaissance survey of Brigham City's historic Main Street from 200 South to 100 North, and just the business district. And then from that reconnaissance survey, there was an earlier reconnaissance survey. Let me pass out a couple of things so it's more clear here. Here's a reconnaissance survey. And here's the building we want to focus on from the historic district. So as you probably know, this federal and state program, the federal government gives us state money to help property owners with historic buildings. It's all voluntary. Nobody has to participate. And they start broad with a reconnaissance survey, and then they narrow the survey down with an intensive level survey. And then from there, it can go to a National Register nomination. The nice thing about establishing a historic district is that a building that's not on the National Register, that's a contributing building, not necessarily a significant building, can get tax credits. And that's what we want to do with the Horsley building to help the property owner with some issues that he has with this building on Main Street. So that's why we've got a recon survey and a historic district in Brigham City. And then Garland has several. I'm sure you guys have been to Garland. You like that old movie theater?
Yep.
Their library's already on the National Register, but that doesn't do any good because it's a government-owned building, so they're not going to get tax credits for that. But anyway, the idea of doing a recon survey for Garland is to eventually do a historic district to help the property owners of homes get into the 20% state tax credits. For example, if somebody if they want to be in the program and they spend, say, $10,000 on a roof or a heating system or whatever, the state will give them back on their taxes a 20% rebate. So that's a tax credit, not a tax deduction.
Right.
Anyway, any questions?
No, I think it's a great program. I think that could be my grandpa and my uncle sitting out in front of that Horsley store, so I'm going to have to take a look.
Okay. I will need the grant signed this evening, though. I have to send it in by mail tomorrow,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Okay, just to make sure, so
There's no cost to the county.
Just to pass through.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask, just to make sure. So we're basically the sponsoring entity, or it's just coming through the county
Yeah.
to go to, okay.
The county's match is electrical work done on this building, which is on the National Register.
Okay,
Replacing LED lights. Nothing historic about that, but anyway.
okay.
I'll make a
Any
motion,
questions?
I'll make a motion, we approve the certified local government grant.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, thank you, Larry.
Thanks, Larry.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. You bet.
Thanks for volunteering.
And Marla, you have a copy of that?
I do not.
Okay.
So, but he'll get it to me. He's very good to give me.
Did you sign the other one?
He needs to sign.
Oh, so this is the one that I have you sign.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah, there was a copy in our packet, so, all right, very good. Let's see our,
Sign one for him already.
no, just the copy.
If you'll sign that, then he can get me a copy and send it off tomorrow, the
Okay.
deadlines.
We can do that. Okay. All right, our 529 agenda item has been tabled. We'll get that on the next meeting. So Tom Bowen, semi-trucks.
Yes, sir. My name's Tom Bowen. I'm the president of the Chesapeake Duck Club. I have here with me today Thane Gerhardt, who is the manager of our club, Mr. Hank Lesson, who is a representative from Procter & Gamble, Curtis Marble, a disgruntled farmer, and we're here to
I'm gonna put him in my phone for that now, disgruntled farmer.
Here's what we're talking about. That's a picture in front of our gate at the south end of 6800 West. Ever since the Procter & Gamble plant was built, we've had trucks, semis that get misdirected off of Highway 83,
83.
and they turn the wrong way on 6800 West. And they proceed till they get to our gate, and then they try and turn around. And it's very difficult to do that. Sometimes they'll back up into Kurt's Mint Distillery, turn their truck around, and while they're there, go to the bathroom and relieve themselves and drive on.
That's number one.
That would do it.
That's how they do it. A few months ago, we had a truck come into our yard while our gate was open. And it went in, turned around in our yard, there's another one, and tore out the main electrical line in the yard. Fortunately, we had security cameras, able to track that down to a trucking company in Idaho, and they ended up paying us for it. But it's become a real hassle over this period of time. We met with UDOT last week, and UDOT has agreed to allow Procter & Gamble to place a sign in the right-of-way on Highway 83.
Which, in case you don't know, is a big coup, because Bill Gilson's been trying to get it done for 5 years.
You should have called us.
We should have called the Duck Club. We should have called the disgruntled farmer. Yeah, we have been very unsuccessful, so I'm telling you, I'm applauding you. I'd give you a standing ovation. This is going to be really good for
Well,
everybody.
there's a lot of work done by Procter & Gamble, too. I'm
Yeah.
just the guy that got upset about having to deal with this. And I sent an email to Procter & Gamble. They responded, and this whole thing came about.
You should have said, I was able to clean up the mess with the paper towels. There you go with bounty.
Anyway, so they're going to do, there's a sign that says right for Iowa String Road. They're going to put one underneath it that goes left for 6800 West. And then they're also going to allow them to put a sign further back that says Procter & Gamble, with an arrow, and do that. What we're here for tonight is to try and get permission from the county to put some signs, additional signage, on Iowa String Road in the county right-of-way, and also on 6800 West. There's a sign on the corner right now, but it's on private property. Procter & Gamble would like to locate that further out. It's a little bit tough to see unless you're looking for it. And then possibly have some other signs on on Iowa String Road saying Procter & Gamble with an arrow or something like that. They may not need them, but if we can get the permission to do that, fine. What I would like to see is when you turn on to 6800 West, south, excuse me,
It's fun.
south, ideally, a Procter & Gamble sign with a circle and a slash through it, like that. But as you go down,
Something like that.
as you go down to the stop sign is down on 2400 North.
Curtis, he's talking about Norman's corner, right? Okay.
Yeah. To put a side that's Procter & Gamble with an arrow pointing to the left or east. So it directs them up that street till they get to 6400 West. Put another sign there with an arrow, so they go down 6400. And then when they get back to Highway 83, there's another sign with an arrow pointing again to the left. So they would come in and make that circle. Now, from the experience we have, most of the drivers don't speak good English. Some of them don't speak English at all, but they can understand and look at the symbols and probably follow that. Anyway, we think that that's a good thing, and it will close the loop. Let me also say, here's the thing that happened. If you look at that, that's the website from Procter & Gamble that has the address in there only as 5800 Iowa String Road. Now, Procter & Gamble has contacted him, and Hank just told me today he's got a response back from Google that they're changing that.
Yeah, this says 5,000.
5,000, excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're going to change that. The problem
Okay.
is everybody's got all their GPS systems out there that have the old thing in it. But our conclusion is that they get down, they don't know where to go, and if the GPS system doesn't know where to go and sends them down 6800 West, then they end up down in our yard. That's essentially my presentation in the 5 minutes. I think Kurt would like to express some of his disgruntledness. And there may be, I don't know, Hank, do you want to say anything?
No, I mean, Procter & Gamble supportive. One of the things that the state asked is that, we bear the fee to place the signs in the state right away. We're willing to do that. Same thing with the signs here, that just make it easier and
You don't want to put a big neon sign on side of Procter & Gamble and lights and everything so people can.
Yeah.
we're trying to keep a low.
Yeah.
So if you're comfortable with that, you'd like to work with Bill to set the size, style, and whatever. And then
I can
go
tell
from
Bill's itching to say something, so
there. All right.
I have a feeling he's going to answer a couple of my questions before I get a chance to ask him, so.
So, with talking with the plant manager of Procter & Gamble, they are ready to go forward and produce the signs that would go on Iowa String on the county right-of-way and also on the state right-of-way, if I understand correctly.
Yes, yeah, we're waiting for details from the state to be able to design those.
Correct. And I believe they're having their own on-site engineer also working with them, trying to get the design and the size of the signs correctly. And I think that's great. We'd be willing, I think, to put them up on our right-of-way and bear the cost of putting them in place and doing the blue stakes and implementing that. The only thing that I would be concerned with as far as, the route going south and detouring people on a given route around a neighborhood or so forth, I just don't want to see the county bear the liability of trying to route these trucks into areas. I think we're going to go for more of a not a viable route to P&G. So once they head down that road, they know they're going in the wrong direction, but it's something I think we need to get in talks with a little bit more and define out with the engineering service of Procter & Gamble and also our county staff before we decide on the south end of it anyways.
Yeah. Well, our problem is, of course, if they get over and get on Iowa String Road, then they're not going to be down to us. But there's going to be some that make the turn, and there needs to be something.
Definitely.
They're going to go all the way down to the end.
well, and I think we'll just,
I think what we're looking at is somewhere before Norman's Corner, before they get to 2400 North, that there's a large sign saying not a viable route to P&G.
That'd be fine.
So it's up to them to find their own route. We don't want to direct them one way or another and become liable where they're going to end up or how they're going to get stuck. Once they turn off, then they know that they're going the wrong way.
But here's the problem, they don't speak English. So they're not gonna know that. The other problem is, I thought, well, we could put up a no semis or something about a corner where all the farmers have.
Yeah.
then we'd have a
Right.
disgruntled farmer again.
Okay.
If I could, let's avoid shifting this problem onto the Normans. We don't want them to have
Oh, no, that's
Correct.
of our problem.
right.
No, we appreciate you doing the legwork on this and putting this together. I fully confident between the folks at P&G with the engineering and working with UDOT Region 1 and Bill that we can get some signs together that make sense for everybody concerned. Keep them off.
Because they only let us put, because how long have we had that other sign up? And they would only let us put up a,
And they never gave
Small
us the go
sign.
ahead on the small sign. That was kind of on our own accord to put that off of the the right-of-way there, it was outside of.
Somebody told him to
policy,
just actually
They could
put it up.
actually have taken it down if they wanted to press their policy at the time.
So.
How
we're
many
good.
intersections are after the first, I mean, if they turn and head down towards you?
By the time they,
The next one is 1600 north.
Correct.
That's where you make the bend, and that's the last one out of there.
yeah,
And-
right by Ferris.
And so at that last one, I mean, is there any sign that says dead end or anything like that?
There is,
There is, and they still go down there?
yeah.
Wow.
But the problem is our men still could look like it's a building.
Yeah,
So they see the dead end and then they see the men.
and then keep going.
Looks like it's a structure. So they pull into that parking lot.
I think it's great. I'm glad you got UDOT on board, and let's get it taken care of the best way we can, and
Get the signage
I
up.
think get the signage up as soon
try
as
the best way we
possible.
can, and we'll be in
Press on.
talks with you and make it work out.
That's great. Yeah,
Okay.
thanks, Bill.
Very
Yeah,
good.
thanks.
Thanks. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thanks for your help. Let us know
Okay.
what else we can do.
Yeah, we'll wait to hear. So, thank you.
One other brief thing that Thane points out is often they don't know really who they're looking for. They just have an address. They're looking for 5,000 Island Spring Road. They think that they're on it. I don't, well, we'll just do the best we can.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully with the update with Google over time, that'll remedy itself.
When we've been distilling mint, they walk into the distillery and they think they are at their location. They want to know where they're gonna load.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask you,
have a bunch of
how much
bounty
stuff have you
paper
taken off
towels?
the trucks, though?
I was going to say, you'll have a year's supply of toilet paper stopping by there. So.
Unfortunately, they're empty when they're
Oh,
That's what,
fill up. When
once they fill up, they know that they've been there. So,
it's harder with them.
all right.
thanks, you guys.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you want a motion for them to work?
I think we just gave him directions to be able to continue on doing that. I don't think we need a legal motion.
Yeah, just to do some, they're just doing some research at this
We're
point.
just doing research, and
Okay.
Okay.
All right, very good.
thanks, you guys.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank
we'll
you.
move on to our next one, natural gas. Mr. Rigby.
You guys might want to stick around and hear this. It's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, thanks. Cards for free natural gas. Sweet.
Yeah.
As long as it's under $10, we can have it.
It's really only like $4. So yeah, Bruce Rigby, Summit Energy, we're part of the Integrated Energies companies. We're one of Utah's, well, we manage the oil and gas that comes from the wells. We manage about 3,700 wells in the basin and in Colorado, Wyoming. And we supply wholesale gas to most of the wholesale gas meters in Utah. And just a 30-second overview of how that works, rather than paying Dominion Energy $7 or $8 per decatherm on the GS rate, which is what all the commercial folks are paying, which is the same rate as at your home. Then you can pay Dominion a lesser fee, about $1 or $1.50 a decatherm instead of 7 or 8, and then pay about $2.50 for the commodity from a wholesale supplier. And so if you pick one of the months for the correction center here, which is what the only facility we're talking about, like February is 550 decatherms. The county paid $4,220. If they had been on wholesale, they would have paid $953 to Dominion and $2,200 to Summit, totaling $3,177 rather than $4,220. There's a lot more to it than that, but to kind of simplify things, we supply about 98% of the grocery stores in the state of Utah, all the major chains and the big stores, all the LDS temples, including this one here, most of the school districts, including this one here, some of your industrials, like rotational molding. I can't think of the other ones that we have up here. We supply most of the larger cities in the state for their rec centers, The trick is 3,000 decatherms a year. Once you hit that number, then it makes sense to buy your gas wholesale. And that's a lot of natural gas, $20,000 a year approximately.
So my car washes out. I was
out.
doing the figures in my head.
Excuse me, we've looked at a few car
Depends on
washes.
if you leave your doors open all the winter long.
And if you got a really old boiler in there, maybe, but there is a cost. Dominion requires an upgrade to the meter. They bill that in July, and that is between $5,000 and $6,000 fee, which is just a little bit less than what you save the first year. So there's not a whole lot of savings the first year. There's not a demand on the fiscal budget, though, because when you receive that first bill, then you send that to us, and we send you a check for that amount, and then we bill it back at no interest over 12 months. So there's no out-of-pocket. Most, like I say, we supply BYU, Weber State, the city of Logan, almost all of the larger correction centers in the state, from Weber, Salt Lake. We just picked up Davis County. We've been serving Tooele, Beaver, Iron County, et cetera.
So this is very similar to, this is deregulation, so it's very similar to wholesale electric. You're running it over Rocky Mountain service lines, and you just pay a lower rate.
Yeah, Utah's partially deregulated,
Okay.
and this is the point where we're at, yeah.
So tell me what the downside would be.
The downside would be if you were to just hear about this from somebody and go and do it, then Dominion would send you a list of suppliers, and you would go and select one of those, and then about once every year, sometimes every other year, there's an interruption. And that's when the downside happens. We're the only supplier that mitigates that interruption. That's what our business model's built around. That's why we supply, 70+% of the wholesale meters in Utah.
So we're not going to get a call from Sheriff Potter 18 months from now that says, hey, we're freezing down here.
Actually, you are. So once a year, you're going to get an email from
Here's the
Dominion
downside.
Energy, and it's going to say there's a curtailment if you don't have firm demand on your meter, then you'll need to limit your usage to X. And we have 600 customers right now in Utah, and we sent an email out to 590 of them and it says just ignore the previous email within 10 minutes. We have some customers like Lagoon and Ace Disposal that fuels their trucks that they can handle. They're either not burning gas, all the asphalt plants in the state, they don't burn gas in the winter, so they don't pay for the firm demand. The analysis that we provided to the correction center included firm demand, included every possible fee that's there, and we give you a written guarantee that there won't be any surprises, no penalties or interruptions or anything.
So do you supply P&G, Nucor, all the people up here that use a lot of gas?
So the ones that are big enough, like Nucor, have a gas buyer on staff, and they bid that out once a year. And so sometimes we're supplying them, sometimes we're not. Okay. But some of their plants are interruptible and some are not. So refineries, we supply them. So.
No, this sounds good. We're always looking for a better mousetrap, so.
There is a deadline. That's the big downside. February 15th is the window. That's when the window closes for 2019. The change happens once a year. It's July 1st of each year. And yes. So the February 15th deadline of notification's already been, Shirlene sent that in. Then February 28th is the next deadline, and that's when this contract has to be executed. My contract's with it because I wanted you to be able to review both of them together. So that's the Dominion Energy contract and the Summit Energy contract.
We don't have a commission meeting till the 20th, so.
Have you had a chance to look through these, Tom? What's your thoughts?
Steve, have you had a chance to look over any of it?
Have I had it too? I don't know as I've looked at it.
Because I would say, I'm fine approving it pending
Yeah,
your
so I was
approval.
just going to say, since we don't have another meeting, I'd be okay with that too.
So I make a motion, we approve the sale and purchase of natural gas pending Steve's review of the contract.
I'll second that.
Just a little bit of discussion. Do you have any questions? I mean, this is a little premature for you, Steve, if you haven't seen it.
I don't have any questions, but I don't.
Okay.
I might have, but.
Okay. No, I was just wondering if you had any, from a financial standpoint or just from what you've reviewed, if you had any questions or concerns? No. Okay.
What we did recommend was, Weber County has been good enough to say, hey, if anyone, any of their correction centers wants to talk to us, Stephanie Ebert over there, it's the exact same contract. Both of them are exactly the same word for word, except for the names on them.
Okay.
And they've been,
Okay. All right. Very good. We have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks for bringing this to our attention.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks, Bruce.
appreciate it.
Okay.
be good.
Yeah.
Bill? Oh, sorry. My-
Do you want me to take it?
What do you think?
It's okay. I'm just trying to figure out where it came, when it came.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Stan's getting ahead of himself.
Yeah.
Stan's getting ahead of himself.
I don't remember that.
He forgot he wasn't chair.
I mean, usually when something like that comes, I'll put it on like, and I don't have anything here, so.
Okay. All right. Bill?
The first agenda item, we'd like to propose on appointing Mike Bowen to the County Weed Board. Mike is a landowner, farmer in the Beaver Dam area, farms in that area, and also has a transportation link. The foreman out of the Bothwell UDOT sheds, so we think he would be a great member to our County Weed Board.
I'd make that motion that we appoint Mike Bowen to the Weed Board.
Second?
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
The next appointment is the County Road Department has most recently acquired a operational supervisor for our department to handle a lot of the duties there. And at this time, we'd like to appoint the operational supervisor, Gordon Young, to the Risk Management Committee to sit in on some of the discussions and the review of accidents and so forth.
And he's okay with that?
I think so.
Okay.
I make a motion, we make a appointment of Gordon Young to the Risk Management Board.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield, a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
And the third item I have today is a contract between the county and UDOT for the county to utilize the salt shed facilities and be able to get the salt out of the Brigham area. It's actually open to any of the UDOT sheds that we can go in and pull salt from any of these locations and utilize them. And this will greatly help the efficiency as far as our snow removal in South Willard. A lot of the time we'll have to get 3/4 of the way through a route and the truck will have to go back to Tremont to refill with salt sand mix or so forth. And this is allowing us to go into their facility and utilize that, and then we will have to reimburse them the general cost for the salt back to the state.
I don't know whoever's idea this was, but it's great.
It is.
It's a good idea.
Yep.
So they'll just scale you there. And I mean, this will save fuel, staff time, let alone being much more efficient for
Time
the
on
other
the
people
road.
that you're serving. So
Yep, that's awesome.
Most definitely.
That's a great idea.
I think a lot of this arose with Gordy and his time he spent with UDOT, so I think it's
That's
been
awesome.
very helpful.
okay.
I'd make a motion we approve the contract 1902 allowing the salt access to UDOT road sheds.
Second?
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Bill.
Cotter left.
Let's see. Do you know if Tom's out there? Can you guys see him?
Tomas?
We've got the couple of different items on here for.
Early distribution.
Okay.
All right, so the first issue, so the county has firefighters who reside in the Park Valley, Grouse Creek areas. They're volunteer firefighters. This year, as we're going through year-end processes, we noticed that we were receiving a lot of requests for payments for volunteer firefighters. Previously, we'd always receive different type of requests. Usually we pay a fire department. So we'd pay Tremont Fire Department, and then Tremont would handle the payment of those firefighters. With the change that has taken place, those volunteer firefighters really belong to the county. So then the issue begins, per IRS guidelines, there's no such thing as an independent contractor, a firefighter who would qualify as an independent contractor. So we have a bunch of payments that are now sitting in limbo. Just need to verify, Jenica wanted me to verify with the commissioners how you wanted to handle this. So we have the 2018 payments that are pending, and then going forward, so really so my recommendation to the commission would be, in order to pay firefighters, we need a W-4. They need to become on as county employees. They need to check all those boxes.
So we would need PAs. We need PAs for all of them.
And why can't we 1099 them?
IRS doesn't allow it.
And there's no way that we could just do an individual contract with the individual fire departments and have them contract out through them?
There are fire departments.
Yeah.
It's my understanding. Tiffany might understand differently than I do, but as far as I understand now, that Grouse Creek and Park Valley are
Ours.
county stations. Same issue, yep. Ever.
Can we make them subsets of Tremont? And then just do it through Tremont?
If Tremont wants them.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, that might be another way to do it. If it's gonna be such a pain.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I
Okay.
don't see Tremont ever.
It would just be a different entity that would
Yes.
be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as I read through the emails and it came back, it didn't really sound like there was much of an option to go 1099. And so I think
I mean,
we just need to implement it.
Yeah, I mean, if you did pay 1099, it's just very much the whole, you are not following IRS guidelines, so then becomes, how comfortable are you with the risk of an audit?
If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
And now it's
So
a
they're
public meeting, we
employees.
can't say, hey, we never knew about it.
Right.
This is news.
No. How does that impact the county's books where you're going back and doing it during 18, where you'd be doing it as an employee versus a 1099 where you don't have W-4s on file?
So in order to pay them, we'd have to go get their W-4s.
I guess most of them would be pretty willing to sign that since a paycheck's waiting for them.
You would assume that, but that's not always the case, as Marla can talk about.
I was gonna say it's.
We have the same issue with election workers. The IRS has come out with these different guidelines now saying, hey, there's certain categories of individuals do not meet the 1099, independent contractor, election workers being one of them. So we may run into an issue where some people flat out refuse to provide that information to the county.
If they refuse, they don't get paid, right? I mean, you can't pay them without the
And then we're
tax
gonna have to
info.
have Tiffany and those guys take a look and make sure they don't go over the Obamacare guidelines.
There'll be look backs. I mean, it's,
And everything will be have to be entered into Kronos, and it won't be during the pay period.
Yeah, it could be fired. Just give it to Diane. She'll do it.
We just have to have like an open payroll period, because they'll get fire information for 30 days after a fire.
well, see, that's where I think you'd require them, provide some type of mean
To be able
to clock in and clock out.
But then you get into a situation where
to.
would
We
it
do on our
be,
phones now, though.
But if you're requiring them to log in via phone, would you be in a situation where you'd have to provide a cell phone allowance for every single volunteer firefighter that was within the county fire districts?
You're talking 70-plus firefighters. Department
Right. If you were requiring them to log in electronically, Steve, would you have to provide something like that?
I'm sorry, say that again.
If we're trying to get everybody to comply so that we have the information timely for payroll processing and they're able to, do that, would we be obligated to provide them a cell phone allowance if we were requiring them to do that as part of their role as a firefighter?
I don't think you have to provide an allowance.
No.
I think you can provide for the direct cost of it. So if they can prove to me how much it costs their data plan to go in, but you are not required, as far as I'm aware,
Okay.
you are not required to provide an allowance.
Good. Okay, that would make sense because say we have a really short fire season and they're only out there twice, it doesn't make sense to do a monthly cell phone allowance for a firefighter for the entire year. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, but if they can say, well, it cost me 23 cents.
When we
a
went through
day.
this with Bill, if we gave them a general place where they could actually go in and it wasn't a,
Wi-Fi?
yeah, so that's what happened. They were able to go someplace, but most of them had cell phone allowances, so they did do it on their phone.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you're also going up against, some of them don't have smartphones,
Right.
some of them don't even have phones, I don't think. They don't answer them when I call.
Okay.
Okay, well, I guess we can work out the logistics. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, Tiffany can provide better how it happens. I mean, I'd envision that people have to respond to the fire station possibly. Hopefully.
right.
I would assume there you'd have some type of clock they could enter in.
Okay. I would
There may
think
be
so.
those who just respond directly to the fire. Good for them. They're awesome. I mean, these people they're great people. Like, we have no issue with the people at all.
It's just how do we
We
pay
are
them?
grateful for them.
should
We're
get
glad
paid.
they're out there. We just want to make sure we pay them and that they're paid legally.
Okay.
No cash.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't sound like we have much of a choice. I mean, they need to be paid as employees. We need to get W-4s, and we'll have to get everything filled out with personnel and get them set up as county employees. So, and
Okay.
then, I mean, there'll be a little bit of, well, a lot of work to do by HR to audit those each year and see where they stand and if there's any kind of a look back on if they qualify. Because if I remember right, it's not annual, it's is it per month for the look back for, okay.
Well,
So if we have a really lousy July and we have somebody that's out there for 200 hours, they qualify. Okay.
if we went to a countywide fire district, though, wouldn't this have to be done anyway
Yeah.
at that point?
Yeah.
But they have no money. So the district doesn't have any money, so you'd stand it's in the same problem. They don't have any funds to pay anybody anyway. They'd have to wait for the MOUs came in and then continue on year to year.
Okay.
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 Any other questions, gents?
Nope.
I'm assuming, do we need a motion on that?
Tom shot down my idea of cash, so that won't work.
I was taught in corporate finance that cash is king, so.
It's the paper trail issue.
I think,
Do we need a motion on that, Marla, do you think?
No.
no. Just give them direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue on.
All right.
The next item, let me go see if my office is open. I'll come back with the MOU. I thought it was in my stack. It's not. So this is the agreement that we've been working on, for seems like about the past 5 years, but it's not that long. This is the agreement
As
between
long as I've been in
I
here.
have it.
Box Elder County. Oh, Marla has it. Good, I did something right. This is between us and the Box Elder County Special Service District. This makes it so that we can function with that special service district. Everything will be copacetic. Basically what this allows is it allows the special service district to purchase equipment. That equipment will be titled by the special service district. However, the county will have a right to use that equipment. We entered the agreement that we'll put our employee in it. We'll also let USIP know that we're using it for insurance reasons. Special service district will also be carrying insurance. part of the agreement is that the service district will provide those equipment to the county in exchange for the county will become their, lack of a better term, fiscal agent, their administrator. We will handle all their reporting, all the different aspects of the site that they just don't have the staff to do.
So this would allow a county staff member to be there and take minutes at the meetings and those types of things, because I know that was an issue when Rebecca was here.
Yeah, so that's fallen to Christy, and she's super excited about it.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, look at that smile. So let me give that to you.
But once again, they're great guys. We have no issue with them. We're glad they volunteer, they serve, they've been doing a great job. But really, their concern is to provide the best benefit, best equipment that they can to their district that benefits the county. So now, once again, this is just making sure that we're meeting the legal requirements. That if the feds were to come in, they'd see the clear-cut lines that are drawn, that it wouldn't risk PILT in any way. The state auditor's office is happy with this. They have no issue with it.
And this is primarily mineral lease funding.
Yeah, mineral lease and the SRS.
SRS. Okay.
funding. So this was, and also, so Brian over in Steve's office, he was the main point in this. He came over, answered a lot of questions from the mineral lease board. So he's the one who drafted the agreement. Pretty simple.
Okay. Very good.
I'd make a motion we approve the MOU 19-03 between Box Elder County and Box Elder County Special Service District.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
So the last thing, so this is just as part of the audit from the state auditor when they came. One of the things they found is that we did not have actually a written cash receipting policy. We had procedures that were taking place that are fine, but there was no policy. So we have now drafted a policy that states what we're doing. So anyway, this is just for the commissioner, since you guys are the ones who are over the internal controls for the county. This is for your review, and I guess I do need a motion from you to accept the new policy.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we accept the cash receipt policy.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, and we definitely wanted to include that in the that final response that goes to Jeremy.
So he asked about that again.
Okay. Yeah, and I dropped him an email a day or two ago.
You sent one to Jeremy?
Yeah, just an email stating that it was coming in. It's like I mentioned to Sean earlier in our work session. Every external audit that I've ever seen, it's come in, we go through it, they make their presentation, we approve it, we're done. And so I didn't know that a formal response was expected. And so that's what I mentioned to him. And so I told him we'd try to get something to him just in the next few days. So.
Okay. Perfect.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Okay.
Tom.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Tom.
See if it works.
Okay.
I have three requests for the fire suppression grant. I have a Copley out of Collingston that has requested. Everything is complete with their request. I have a Perkins out of Garland. They've completed everything. And a Hanks out of Elwood.
Are they all the 4,000?
They're not over 4,000.
Can you tell me what the amounts are for each one?
Let's see. Copley would be, okay, here we go. Copley is 3,100. Perkins is 4,000. And Hanks is 3,700. So. And they're required to get at least 3 bids, is that correct?
They have 3 bids and they're required to pay it in full. So it is not considered an income on their taxes. It's considered a reimbursement.
Okay.
So it does not, and we just went through that. We had a bunch of them call back.
All right. Very good. Did you gentlemen have any questions
No.
on these grant requests? Okay.
I don't. I'll make a motion, we approve the residential fire suppression system grants.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Tiff.
Thanks, Tiff.
Thanks, Tiff.
Do you want to see what you think? Oh,
You need to go back to Marla, or do we all need to sign
I
it?
guess I need to sign that. Let's see.
You want me to?
Sheriff.
Jeffrey, are we signing this?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't care.
Go ahead, we're multitasking.
And Kevin Potter, the sheriff, I got Jim Summerall, lieutenant over the patrol division here. He prepared a memo for you guys explaining the problem with our hiring crisis going on and the way we use holidays and vacation. And what we're basically here to ask you is if you'll suspend the policy, the county policy, and let them pay them out till we get through this crisis. And because most of our shifts just have a minimum on, and if somebody needs a day off, somebody else has got to come in and work an overtime shift to do it right now. So if we can pay them their holidays instead of using them, it helps us in two ways, basically.
Okay. No, I read through there, and especially, with the two that just went to Perry, they kind of blew me away. So, Tom, with the way that we're understaffed right now and with the budget and everything, even if we did that, that wouldn't have a major fiscal impact.
No.
I just wanted to clarify that and have it on the
Only
public
officer
record.
down.
I know it won't, but, okay.
Just by way of updates, I know in the memo I kind of talked about the patrol division, but we're going to be drawing the detective division in to assist us, so if that could apply to them as well.
Okay.
And as of less than 24 hours ago, I had another guy go out on a medical, and it's a serious medical condition, and it's going to be indefinitely. So I don't know when we're going to get him back, and this was just within the last 24 hours, so.
All right. I know that there were a bunch of interviews a few weeks ago and some folks that were hoping to go to post. Is that,
It actually looks better. We posted it externally to patrol, and
Okay.
we have some pretty good candidates on that one.
Good.
And the other one, I'm hopeful we'll get. Sometimes the background checks failed every single person on the roster, but I'm positive we'll get some hires out of this one. So that was a little better news.
Is there any way we can tap the other? I know everybody else is in the same boat, Brigham City, Tremont, but is there any way we can actually start tapping some of them? We help them, they help us. Or is that kind of thinking way too outside the box when it comes to some of this stuff on patrol?
I don't think we've ever, in my whole career, I don't think we've ever been in any agency in this county's ever been in a position where we've gone and covered their area for an extended period of time or anything like that.
okay.
I just know if we,
I do know that Brigham City is feeling the same strains that we are right now.
that's what I just didn't think it'd help, but anyway. Okay. I'd make a
Alright.
motion that we suspend and scheduled vacation for the SDO.
Second?
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
Let's see, and Diane, have you got this one? The early distribution for an employee
I said
on an
let's go into
HSA?
Closed session.
Oh, that one's going into the closed? Okay. All right. Marla?
You can bring those PAs up, though, Diane.
I've got them
Oh,
right here. She
there you
just
go.
brought them up. The GC Gone Country has changed ownership out in Grouse Creek. And so the new owner has applied for a beer license. Sheriff Potter has signed off on it, and looks like everything is pretty good with them, so.
Cool.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we approve the Class C beer license.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, very good. Let's see. Raft River. Somebody know something on this one for the appointment?
Yeah, I got appointed on it a long time ago, so they're just wanting to reappoint me on their board. I've seen a couple of emails and that was it, so.
You willing to serve?
Sure.
All right. Well, I would accept a motion.
I'd entertain a motion to accept myself on that board.
I'll make a motion, we appoint Stan Summers to be on the Raft River Electrical Board.
Is he willing to?
Second.
Well, I guess technically he had a motion, so you
I
either
can
need a
second.
second or it needs to die.
I'll
So
strike
you're the
that motion.
second?
I will be the second.
Okay, very good. Have a motion by Commissioner Summers to appoint himself, and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye. I thought you were entertaining the motion, that's why I made it.
Just kidding.
Oh, it's
Made us all
entertaining.
confused.
It's definitely entertaining. So,
It's always entertaining.
okay. Let's see, economic impact statement for Hill Air Force Base?
Yeah, when I was down at Hill with my honorary commander stuff, they actually brought this up for the official Hill Air Force Base officials release, the economic impact for northern Utah. We just wanted to put it on the record that Hill Air Force Base in Utah had a $3.6 billion impact in the Utah economy, according to the base officials. Hill released the 2018 economic impact statement this month and report to summarize the installation's economic impact to local communities. The EIS showed that there was over 25,709 total personnel in Hill Air Force Base and 5,788 military and 3,621 military dependents and 16,300 civilians. So when we talk about some of the things that are going on in northern Utah, this is a big impact for northern Utah, and so we just appreciate Hill Air Force Base calling us home. I just wanted to make sure that was on the record.
No, I appreciate it. I've got two brothers-in-law and at least one nephew that works down there, and my dad retired from there, so it's had a big impact over the years, so thank you. Okay. Let's see, economic development.
Is he not here?
Mitch had to leave. I told him I'd just cover these.
Okay.
Apparently, these are just some typos that were amended and changed on both of these. So on the amended EDA, we just need to approve that with the changes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the ordinance 492 adopting the second amended EDA number 2008-01.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Summers and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye. And I make a motion we approve ordinance 493 adopting the amendment EDA 2015-1.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, very good. Looks like we have a few things to sign.
I'll make a motion that we go into a closed session to talk about personnel and pending litigation.
Do we
wanna
need
your
an RDA?
first?
Oh,
Yeah.
thought we just did it. Oh, it's
I
on
think
my
we
next
have to
one.
do it in here, and then I think we have to
Okay,
probably do
sorry.
it there
I'm
too.
gonna hold that motion. Take it back.
Okay. Guess we can just go ahead and move in.
Should have turned the page. Sorry. After Hatfield said he was taking over, I just figured that was it. I didn't turn the page. I keep wanting to pass him to Steve. You don't want to. I don't blame you. don't need to be here for this one either, right? Because I wasn't here for 116.
I think we got all of those.
Okay.
Scott Lyons isn't still here, is he? One of those
No.
ordinances was a draft. We'll have to-
Scott?
I'll
Scott
get-
Lyons not still here, is he? Have you
I'll
seen
get-
Scott, Tom? Okay.
He's probably gone, don't you suppose?
What's that?
Marla just needed
One
another
of his
paper.
ordinances was a draft. He should have had the original tonight. I'll get it from him tomorrow and have Jeff sign it.
You know where I live, right?
I do.
She knows where to find you.
Walk across
Some
the street.
eggs.
Do we need to sign anything? This is from last week? These two
Yeah,
sets?
technically.
I think there's 3 because there's been 3 weeks between meetings.
I thought we were done with those.
Three of us needed this, right? I don't know, just need to put it in the stack.
Are they volunteers for the scuba thing or something, maybe?
Yes, Sheriff.
Ask Diane,
Or-
probably,
Okay.
because they're PAs, right?
Oh, yeah, okay, I'll ask Diane. These are just the scuba guys, right? Okay, all right.
Yeah, we should have passed those around.
Mother of pearl.
Those.
She just probably whipped up a batch before she came down.
A lot of signing tonight.
Yeah. Get writer's cramp.
So I was just gonna say. Wow. Jenica's not even here. Making up for lost time.
You guys have been busy.
Something's been busy.
Just the scuba volunteers.
Just basically approving them.
Yeah.
Maybe that,
No.
that bottom one might. Oh, that's. You missed the back page, Jeffrey.
Oh, there's 2 of them?
There are 2 pages, yeah.
Ah, okay.
to us.
What kind of nuts you think they're in those?
Let us know.
Oh, you'll know.
All right. Ready for an RDA?
Almost.
Okay.
You don't need a motion, just,
Yeah, we just
gotta
got
wait
to
for Marla to
tape.
switch stuff over.
Sorry, I'm the last one here.
Well, we left you with all the papers to sign.
I think they're macadamia. Oh, there's Rice Krispie treats.
Oh, man. It's gonna ruin my dinner for sure.
Okay, we're going to take a
No.
short break here while Marla is getting writer's cramp.
I'm almost done.
If any of you need some sugar, please come up here, please. This is Laura Selman, so it's definitely going to be good, so. Here, Christy. Or Chrissy. Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Still on about before you
Those
get
are
rid of
to
them.
die for.
Oh, man. They're good.
I'm good whenever you're.
Oh, okay. Wow, that was fast. I need to get a shorter signature or something. Okay. All right, gentlemen, we're in our RDA meeting.
I wasn't here in 116.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes from January 16th.
I'll second that. Have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield, a second by myself. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the RDA Resolution 1903, adopting the official amended project area plan for the EDA 2008-01 Economic Development Area.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Do you want to explain it at all? So
These were, I guess we did it in the other meeting. These are basically just
is this the same thing? With
yeah.
Yeah,
some
just
type errors.
some
Typing errors were
typos and
changed.
just changing the language in there, so.
The typing error caused the project to move
Be off by a
properties wrong.
mile.
So,
That's all.
yeah. I'd make a motion, we approve RDA Resolution 19-04, adopting the official amendment project area for the EDA 2015-1.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hadfield, a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn our RDA meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Now I can make that motion.
Almost.
I'm trying. I gotta go.
Okay.
to a messy 7 o'clock.
Go ahead.
We're supposed to be in a meeting in 2 minutes.
This is January 16th. How did
I
we
make
get
a
on
motion,
that?
we go into
This guy's
closed
didn't
session
take
to
enough.
talk about personnel and
didn't take
possible
enough.
litigation.
No, they didn't take enough.
Second.
Motion and a second to move into a closed session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.